Morning, PM. Good morning, everyone. Madam Secretariat, do we have a quorum?
Morning, Madam Chair. Yes, we have a quorum with the attendance of the following. Marietta I. Guerrero, Chairperson. Attorney Mark John S. Palomar, Vice Chairperson. Attorney Maria Asuncion. Yasmin de los Santos, Regular Member. Engineer Reynan C. Parafina, Regular Member. Mr. Russell Q. Bobadilla, Regular Member. Attorney Rizal L. Kaabay, Regular Member. From PMO Cagayan de Oro, we have Port Manager Isidro V. Butaslac Jr. We have as well in attendance the head and members of the Secretariat, the head and members of the Technical Working Group. On the part of the prospective bidders, we have representatives from BASPS, Maria Joana Santiago, and from PCBSI, Mr. Bienvenido Basco, attending via WebEx.
Thank you. Considering the foregoing, the BAC declares that there is a quorum. Head Office BAC PTMC number 16-2023 is hereby called to order. Madam Secretariat, what do we have scheduled today?
We have 4 items in our agenda, Madam Chair. First is the pre-bid conference for the Port Terminal Management Contract for the clustered ports of Balbagon, Benoni, and Guinsiliban. Next is the pre-bid conference for the Port Terminal Management Contract for the clustered ports of Balingoan and Jasaan. Third is the bid evaluation report of the Port Terminal Management Contract for the clustered ports of Hagna, Tapal, Ubay, Talibon, and Getafe, and other matters. Madam Chair, may I also acknowledge the presence and attendance of personnel from PMO Cagayan de Oro, as well as from PMO Socsargen, attending via WebEx.
Okay, let's go to the first item in our agenda, the pre-bid conference for the Port Terminal Management Contract for the clustered ports of Balbagon, Benoni, and Guinsiliban. We will now be showing an audiovisual presentation on the port subject of the bidding for the information of the prospective bidders. PMO, please proceed with your presentation.
The port of Benoni is located in the southern part of the municipality of Mahino, Camiguin, and is situated along the highway. This port serves as the main entry point to Camiguin. As one of the complementary ports of the port of Balingoan, the port caters to domestic vessels and has direct and regular voyages to Balingoan. For optimum port security, the port has 25 installed surveillance cameras around its premises. This, along with the 3 Ro-Ro ramps, reinforced concrete wharf RC pier, continuous ramp, a passenger terminal building and terminal office, floodlights, solar-based lighting system, and generator set are among the facilities of the port. The port offers passenger terminal operations and handles rolling cargoes, fuel, bottled and general cargoes. The port of Guinsiliban, located at the eastern part of the municipality of Guinsiliban, Camiguin Province, is accessible from the coastal highway. It is about 7 kilometers from the Benoni port. It serves as an alternate port in times of congestion and high waves or swelling at the port of Benoni or port of Balbagon. This port serves as an alternate port for the port of Benoni, especially for cargo vessels, supporting the trade and commerce in the Camiguin Island. It caters to domestic vessels and handles rolling cargoes, fuel, bottled and general cargoes. It can also cater to cargo vessels with a maximum length overall of 64 meters and has a draft of 5 meters at its Roro ramp. The port facilities include a reinforced concrete pier, causeway, 1 Roro ramp, street lights, and a backup area. It also has a terminal office and a limited holding area for passengers. The port of Balbagon is located in the eastern part of the municipality of Mambahaw, province of Camiguin. It is about 15 kilometers from the Benoni port. As part of the Strong Republic Nautical Highway, the port of Balbagon has regular direct voyage to the port of Hagna in Bohol. This route allows businessmen, tourists, and travelers to travel to and from Bohol, thereby facilitating trade, commerce, and tourism for both Camiguin and Bohol province. The port handles rolling cargoes, bottled and general cargoes. With the extended Roro ramp and the new passenger terminal building, the port can already accommodate larger vessels, 1 Roro and 1 conventional vessel at any given time. The port of Balbagon has 23 surveillance cameras around its premises, an RC pier, 2 concrete Roro ramps, a passenger terminal building, terminal office, open storage area, warehouse, covered pedestrian walkway, and port lighting system, among others.
Madam Chair, may I proceed? As an overview of the project, the minimum concession fee for the 15-year concession period is 328,661,503 pesos and 27 centavos. The project was advertised last November 9, 2023 in the Manila Times. May we now ask from the prospective bidder, PASPs, if they have questions regarding the bid documents? None so far.
That's so far, ma'am.
Since there are no questions, Madam Chair, we may now proceed to the next.
Okay, let's now proceed to the next item in our agenda, the pre-bid conference for the port terminal management contract for the clustered ports of Balingoan and Jasaan. PMO, please proceed with your presentation.
located in Barangay Baok-Baok, the commercial center of the municipality of Balingoan, Misamis Oriental. It is about 85 kilometers away from Cagayan de Oro City. With its strategic location, the port of Balingoan serves as an entry and exit point for the conveyance of travelers and cargoes to and from the Camiguin Island, one of the popular tourist destinations in the Philippines. Ro-Ro passenger vessels whose routes are from and to Camiguin regularly call at the port. There are occasional tramping vessels calling at the port whose cargoes are for nearby private ports. More than 95% of the cargoes handled are Ro-Ro cargoes. The tramping vessels that occasionally call in the port of Balingoan carries liquid bulk cargoes. Port facilities include RCPM, 6 Ro-Ro berths, open storage or backup area, passenger terminal, parking area, lighthouse, solar-powered lighted buoys, solar-powered port lighting system, standby power generator, and the terminal management office building. Construction of a modern port operations and multi-purpose building is ongoing at the port. The port offers passenger terminal operations, Ro-Ro cargo services, porterage services, and stevedoring services. The Port of Jasaan is located in the municipality of Jasaan. It is about 32 kilometers away from Cagayan de Oro City and about 53 kilometers away from the port of Balingoan. The port of Jasaan serves as an alternate port for the port of Cagayan de Oro, serving industries in the eastern part of Misamis Oriental. The port presently has no regular vessels calling at. However, the port has catered to tramping vessels laden with aggregates, rolling cargoes, and heavy equipment.
As an overview of the project was advertised last November 9, 2023 in the Manila Times. The minimum concession fee for the project for the 15-year concession period is 328,661,503 pesos and 27 centavos. May we now call the representatives from PCBSI if they have questions regarding the bid documents.
Hi, good morning, ma'am. Good morning. Yung
Good
question
morning,
po,
ma'am.
morning po. Yung question ko po is number one, since separate financial bid is required for each port, can we be provided also yung separate minimum concession fee for year one, yung breakdown po nung Balingoan and Jasaan?
Good morning. Good morning, Madam Chair. May I? Thank you. For the minimum concession fee for year one for the Port of Balingoan, it's 14,978,444 pesos and 80 centavos. For the minimum concession fee for year one for the Port of Hasaan, it's 252,481 pesos and 11 centavos.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Second question po. On supplemental bid number 2, yung threshold po ng passengers were deleted. May we know why, and may we know if this is included in the computation of the minimum concession fee?
Ako na?
Madam Chair, may I? Ay, sige mo na. Sige.
The passengers that was deleted as provided in supplemental bid number 2 was for the Port of Hasaan because there are no passengers at the Port of Hasaan. In Port of Balingoan, there are passengers, and in the volume threshold, there are passengers that was provided.
Thank you, ma'am. Was this included in the computation of the minimum concession fee? The data, the passengers that were deleted from the threshold?
It was mistakenly included, so it was deleted. So it has no effect on the computation. So there's basically no threshold for the area since, as stated by the PMO, there is no volume. So in the form which was published, it was mistakenly included as a threshold. So bid bulletin number 2 was a correction to reflect what the actual condition on the ground.
So it's not included in the minimum
It's not included.
concession fee? Okay.
It's not included.
Okay po. Thank you, sir. Third question, sir, yung sa as current operator of Port of Balingoan, we noticed significant increase in the volume cargo for year 2022, specifically yung raw oil, the liquid bulk cargo na nagdi-discharge at naglo-load sa port ng Balingoan. Pero historically wala siya sa port from 2016 to 2021, and 2022 lang siya dumating, and there are infos gathered that this is Philcoco, Philippine Global Coconut Oil Mill Incorporated, which has an ongoing construction of their own private port. So, yung volume po ba na nanggagaling sa mga shipments ni Philcoco were considered in the computation?
Madam Chair, if I may. Yes, ma'am. The computation of the minimum concession fee as approved by as per PPA AO 03-2020 2023 should consider the historical revenue of the port for the last 3 years, which is the period from 2020 to 2022. And in this period, ma'am, kasama po yung bulk cargo from the cargo of Philcoco po. Included po siya sa computation ng minimum concession fee.
Thank you, Ma'am Kat. Right now, the cargos coming from the shipments of Philcoco is 95% of the total volume of cargo. Paano po kaya pagka nag-operate na yung own private port nila?
Pero wala na bang ibang ma'am, cargo na pwedeng sa kanila aside from Philco? Regular.
We will take that into consideration. One danger of removing the computation as of now is because if we remove it, there will be there will be no basis for the volume, and the basis for collection will be variable fee, which is 60%.
It's pero sir, the minimum concession fee will also be reduced.
Yes, it will reduce. As stated earlier, the basis for computation now, as provided for by the PPA board, is the average for the last 3 years. With such, we had to include the computation.
I think it's better or to reduce the concession fee than to, because the contract is for 15 years and they will and they are right now their private port is already has an ongoing construction. The same goes to Port of Hasaan, sir.
We note your comment. PCBSI,
I
we
think-
note your comment. We understand where you're coming for, and we will take that into consideration. Should the BAC decide to revise the concession fee, a bid bulletin will be issued. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, attorney. But
Okay.
I just want also to mention the 95% also of the bulk cargo from Port of Hasaan is was already transferred also to their own private port. This is from shipper shipper Basoy, and their own private port is in Port of Balingasag. These are the sand and gravels that pass through the Port of Hasaan, which was included in the volume threshold of Port of Hasaan.
Thank you, PCBSI. We will take a note of that and discuss afterwards.
Sorry, sir, because on 2023 there were no shipments of basoy sa Port of Hasaan as we gathered infos.
Sige. Thank you. We note that.
Thank you, sir. That's all po.
For other questions, Mr. Chair, we'll just put it in writing.
Okay. We all, Secretariat, please remind them of the requirements for responses within writing.
For the written queries, the last day for submission of written queries is on November 24th, not later than 5 p.m. However, please be reminded that only bidders who have purchased bid documents shall be responded to in writing. Any other questions, PCBSI? If there are no more questions, may I proceed, Madam Chair, to the relevant dates? For the relevant dates, as mentioned, the last day for the written queries is on November 24, 2023, not later than 5 p.m. The deadline for submission of bids for the clustered ports of Balbagon, Benoni, and Guinsiliban is on December 4 at 9 a.m. and the opening is on December 4 at 10 a.m. For the clustered ports of Balingoan and Jasaan, the deadline for submission of bids is on December 4, 1 p.m. and the opening of bids is on December 4, 2 p.m.
Okay, as part of the pre-bid conference, the BAC has prepared some reminders to the bidders based on unusual issues that were encountered during the previous biddings. Madam Secretariat, please proceed with the reminders to bidders.
For PPA accreditation requirement, please be informed that the bidder must submit a valid certificate of accreditation issued by PPA for port terminal services or for all the core services included in the bidding. The bidder must also have at least 2 years' experience in providing port terminal management services/cargo handling services or other related port services, as indicated in completed and ongoing contracts. Conflict of interest. Any prospective bidder or observer who is in a conflict of interest situation contemplated in Article 2, Section 5I of PPAO No. 12/2018 shall likewise be prohibited and is deemed automatically disqualified from participation in any activity covered by these guidelines. Conflict of interest. A situation, as may be applicable, wherein a bidder and/or an observer has controlling shareholders in common with another bidder in the case of observers, received or has received any direct or indirect subsidy from any other bidder, has the same legal representative as that of another bidder for purposes of its bid, has relationship, directly or through third parties, that places it in a position to have access to information about or to influence the bid of another bidder or to influence the decisions of the approving authority regarding the bidding process, submits more than one bid in any bidding process, participated as a consultant of the authority in preparation and design of the port subject of the bidding, and is in situation in which the bidder/observer has a duty or responsibility to more than one person or organization involved in any bidding process. A prospective bidder must not be engaged in any business activity, whether primarily or otherwise, which will prevent it from properly and sufficiently discharging its contractual obligations under port terminal management contract to be awarded pursuant to these guidelines. This prohibition shall cover entities engaged in maritime transportation. For the information of everyone, the approving authority of the port terminal management contract is J. Daniel R. Santiago, General Manager. The BAC-PTMC is composed of the following: Chairperson, Marietta I. Guerrero, Vice Chairperson, Attorney Mark John S. Palomar, Members, Attorney M. A. Heisman H. De Los Santos, Attorney Rigel L. Cabay, Engineer Renand C. Parafina, Russell Q. Babadilla, Port Manager of the port subject of the selection. The technical working group is composed of the following: Head, Attorney Michi F. Manatad, Members, Jenaliza D. Rebong, Maria Luisa A. Cruz, Catherine R. Esto, Ryan Joseph F. Carino, Attorney Nina Suzette M. Mendoza. The BAC-PTMC Secretariat includes: Head, Attorney Diane Steffi T. Gilliman, Assistant to the Head Secretariat, Gail M. Tabacaro. Minimum deliverables to be provided at the clustered ports: A. Cargo handling services, stevedoring, shipside and dockside; B. Passenger terminal management; C. Roro cargo services; D. Storage management; E. Berthside operations; F. Porterage services; G. Weighbridge facility; H. Waste and shore reception facility management; I. Ancillary and other related services. In addition to the minimum concession fee, a variable fee equivalent to 60% of the gross revenue earned from additional services which are not included in the enumeration of services herein shall be collected from the operator. For joint venture, they must present the joint venture agreement or duly notarized statements from potential joint venture and the letter of intent. Otherwise, each potential joint venture partner must purchase the bid documents separately. Each partner shall submit the legal and financial eligibility forms required under Section 17A4 of PPAO No. 12/2018. For determining compliance with the technical and financial eligibility requirements, the satisfaction of one of the joint venture partner or by the joint venture partners, whether singly or collectively, shall be considered sufficient. They shall be required also to present a duly executed joint venture agreement or a duly notarized statement from all the potential joint venture partners. In the absence of JVA or duly notarized statement, bids received from each of the potential joint venture partner shall be considered separately. In binding, the original and all copies of the bid shall be properly bookbound, hardbound, chronologically paged, and with index tabs. The proposed concession fee of the bidder shall have a minimum escalation of 5% per year. The required amount of bid security shall be in accordance with the following schedule: Form of bid security: cash, cashier's check or manager's check. Amount of bid security, not less than the required minimum concession fee plus port development cost is 2%. Bank draft/guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit issued by a universal or commercial bank, provided, however, that it shall be confirmed or authenticated by a universal or a commercial bank. If issued by a foreign bank, is 2% also. Surety bond, callable upon demand, issued by the GSIS or PPA accredited insurance company, is 5%. For performance security, that the required amount shall be equivalent to the total amount of the concession fee of the year for which the performance security is posted. The performance security shall be denominated in Philippine peso and posted in favor of PPA, which shall be forfeited by the PPA in any event it is established that the winning bidder is in default in any of its obligations under the port terminal management contract. In case of forfeiture by PPA of the performance security, the equivalent amount shall be replenished by the winning bidder. The required amounts and forms of performance security shall be in accordance with the following schedule: form of performance security, cash, cashier's check, or manager's check, bank draft/guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit, surety bond, amount of performance security, equivalent to the amount of concession fee of the year for which the performance security is posted. The bidder shall submit separate bid form number 9, one for each port in the clustered ports. In case the bidder is a corporation, the bidder should submit an original duly signed and notarized omnibus sworn statement with attached secretary's certificate showing that the affiant possesses the authority to submit the bid, represent and bid the corporation. There are minimum standard facilities that need to be maintained in the PTBs as provided under PPA guidelines. Should there be a need to obtain copies of said guidelines, kindly coordinate with the Secretariat. Thank you and have a great day.
Any other questions from the prospective bidders? If there are none, the prospective bidders are now excused.